Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
What if you dry-aged steak with pizza flavors? Let's find out. I absolutely love pizza. That's why I decided to dry-age a steak with pizza flavors. So 40 days ago, I selected this beautiful black Aberdeen ribeye roast. It's absolutely perfect for dry aging projects. I cut it up into a kilogram size steak. And one of those steaks I used for my reference steaks, and the other one I used to flavor with pizza flavors. And therefore I created the mixture of all kinds of Italian spices. Dried oregano, thyme, rosemary, dried parsley, chives, everything that you can think of that makes things taste like pizza, I put in this dried rub. Then I mix it all up and covered the steak in that rub. I made sure that this thing was fully packed with flavor. Then I put it back next to the reference steak, set it in my dry aging cabinet and left it there for 40 days to dry age. And the first thing that I thought of after 40 days was, wow, this actually smells like pizza. Of course, you think of these herbs and you put them on, but then when you take it out, it just constantly gives off this fragrance of pizza. And it really makes me hungry. And I'm really getting more and more excited about this experiment. And you can see by the reference steak, we had a good dry age, nice pellicle that we built up. It's not been dry aged too far. It's 40 days, which is a sweet spot for dry aging. So without further ado, let's take a look inside these steaks. First, I want to scrape off the excess herbs that are not sticking to the steak. This steak looks absolutely insane. Almost nothing changed on the inside. We have a beautiful dark red color, a little bit of discoloration on the outsides, but almost none on top. That means I'm gonna have a lot of yield out of this dry age project. And while cutting a dry aged steak, you clearly experience a lot more resistance and the steak is a lot firmer than it used to be. These steaks look absolutely amazing, and if they taste half as good as they look, then this is going to be a treat. Now let's take a look at my reference project. Let's see if the dry aging process went just as well. Wow, there's a lot more discoloration at the bottom. This is way browner than I expected. Luckily, when I start cutting deeper into the steak, it looks better. For now, it looks like adding the pizza spices helped the dry aging process a lot and actually made my steak look better. Now I'm gonna trim off the pellicle that sits on the outside of the steaks. Because of the dry aging process, it became really tough, dry, and way too intense in flavor to actually eat. And as you can see, I need to trim off a lot more for my reference steak than the pizza dry steak. Now that my dry aging project is finished, I want to taste these steaks. So I'm gonna fire up my Napoleon Kettle Pro, I'm gonna light it up with some charcoal, fire starters in, ignition, let it come up to temperature, and now that my grill is up to temperature, I can start cooking. I'm gonna set my grill grate in at the lowest position and let the grill grate become nice and hot. My grill grate is nice and hot, I clean it up a little bit, and now I'm gonna put my steaks on. Reference steaks on the left, pizza steak on the right. I'm gonna flip my steaks 3 times to get the beautiful sear mark on my steaks. And once they look absolutely perfect, I'm gonna put them over indirect heat and let them come up to a core temperature of 52 degrees Celsius. These are some tasty looking steaks, and if you could smell what I'm smelling, let's slice into it. I'm now cutting into the pizza steak. Beautiful juicy steak, and as always with dry aged, they're not as pink as you think they are. It already falls apart while I'm cutting it. Now let's cut into the reference steak. Beautiful looking steak as well. Juicy, tender. Insane. This is a good steak. Now all it needs is a little bit of sea salt, and I like to season my steaks afterwards, so I'm gonna use a light sea salt, something that dissolves very easy. And now I'm going to taste my reference steak. So I'm getting a good idea of what I'm getting into.
I can't complain. Right away, the dry aging taste, delicious. I love it.
It's juicy, it's tender, but it also firmed up by the dry aging.
40 days, perfect number, perfect juiciness, perfect crust.
40-day dried age. That's a beautiful steak.
So what if you take a ton of herbs and put it on top?
40 days dry aged pizza steak.
You can actually taste some herbs. It's very good. I like this a lot.
I think this is my new favorite steak.
This is amazing.
This is incredible. This is really, truly incredible. It's the fact that all the herbs just kept it intact as much as it can. Honestly, I've never seen a steak like that keeping its redness after 40 days in a dry aged cabinet like that. It's incredible. It's incredible, and it's just incredible.
I'm just wrapping my head around this, but the difference between the reference steak and the pizza steak, the firming up after 40 days, that's normal in dry aging. So you kind of get like a more, it's tender, it's more tender, but it's more compact. It feels more compact, the steak, in your mouth as a mouthfeel. But with the pizza steak, that's not the case. It's wiggly still, like almost like it's a short dry aged steak. And it has pizza flavor, but not overpowering, just the right amount. Did you expect this result?
No.
Dude, I'm over the moon with this one.
Yeah, why don't you stop cutting that one and
You don't want to feed the dog?
Yeah, for the dog.
Yeah.
But don't get us wrong, it's a perfect steak.
It is, by any means, this is an awesome steak that dry aged. And look at the appreciation that we get from the dog. But the pizza steak, this could be, it's so tender and so juicy. How is that even possible? It went in for the same amount of time. It's the exact same steak. We cut it from the same whole ribeye.
No, the flavor is just perfect. I mean, I've put those exact herbs on my egg sometimes, and then sometimes it's overpowering, you know? The Italian herb flavor, it just, sometimes it's overpowering. But this? No. It's just insanely good.
It was really good. There you go, dried steak for you, pizza steak for B. Morrison.
I think we created something really beautiful here.
I think we did. And if you think so too, then leave us a big thumbs up and a comment down below. I want to say a special thank you to our YouTube members. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then, eetsmakelijk and
Keep on grilling.
That's right. And don't forget to watch the next video. It's freaking awesome. Dry aging at home is not that hard, so maybe you should try this.